Over the years, summer camp movies have become a fun little subgenre that many people enjoy. When they are done right, they are very relatable to anyone who has ever attended a summer camp as a kid. I myself and many others would agree that the modern-day summer camp movie can be traced back to the 1979 film, Meatballs. The movie is a very relatable summer camp comedy film and has influenced just about every summer camp movie that came after it. It also holds the honor of being the first film to star the talented Bill Murray, who gives a tidal wave of a performance in it. Meatballs is about a summer camp for youth called Camp North Star, where Murray plays head counselor Tripper Harrison. He and the rest of Camp North Star get into a ton of shenanigans while battling their wealthy rival, Camp Mohawk. He even takes a shy 12-year-old camper named Rudy under his wing after he sees him having trouble fitting in. Meatballs is easily my favorite summer camp movie, so while you are preparing for the big Olympiad competition against those rich snobs at Camp Mohawk, just remember one thing: it just doesn't matter, because this is the 1979 movie, Meatballs, 10 Things You May Not Know. Number 10. Director Ivan Reitman had helped develop and produced the 1978 comedy, National Lampoon's Animal House. Reitman had wanted to direct that film, but the studio didn't think he had enough experience, even though he had developed the idea of it from scratch. This motivated Reitman, and he set out on his own without a studio to produce and direct a somewhat similar style of comedy about a summer camp. According to Reitman, the initial script was not particularly good, but it had potential, so he hired Harold Ramis, one of the writers of Animal House, to punch it up. Animal House was done shooting but hadn't been released, so Ramis still wasn't a big name yet. Ramis tightened up the narrative and helped develop it into an overall better script. Number 9. The film was the first movie to feature Bill Murray in a starring role. Murray originally didn't fully commit to starring in the movie, and director Ivan Reitman along with the other producers weren't sure if he'd do the movie until he actually showed up on the third day of shooting. Much of the younger cast had heard someone from Saturday Night Live was starring in the movie and were a little deflated when Murray showed up to play the lead. At this point, Bill Murray wasn't a big name, and the younger cast members were expecting a more known actor from SNL such as Dan Aykroyd. At this point, Murray had only been a cast member on SNL for about a year. When Murray got to the set, he showed up wearing red shorts and a Hawaiian shirt, and he ended up wearing the same outfit as his character in the movie. He also flipped through the script real quick before humorously throwing it away theatrically in a trash can, opting to improv most of his lines, which is what he became known for later on in other starring roles. Number 8. The film was shot at a real-life summer camp called Camp White Pine, located in Haliburton, Ontario, Canada. Ivan Reitman wanted to shoot in August when the campers were still there, because he felt it would make the movie feel more real and they could use actual campers as extras. The campers who worked on the movie were excited at first, but they got very annoyed after a week, because they didn't realize that being extras on a movie meant hours of waiting around doing nothing. There were times where they spent so long waiting around between scenes that they actually ended up missing camp activities. This unfortunately caused many of them to resent working on the movie. Number 7. The producers wanted to hire mostly unknown actors to play the teenage camp counselors to make the film feel more authentic. Actor Russ Banham, who was cast as Bobby Crockett, showed up to the audition in nothing but cut-off jean shorts and no shoes or shirt, which most likely helped him get the part. He had been at the beach that day with his kid sister when he heard about the audition from his agent when he was checking his phone messages. The audition was an hour and a half away in Manhattan, so he didn't have time to go home and change. He said others auditioning probably thought he was genius going for a role in a summer camp movie dressed like that, with a sunburn and everything, but they didn't realize that he actually hadn't planned it at all. Number 6. Young actor Chris Makepeace played the shy and reserved 12-year-old camper Rudy Gerner, who becomes Bill Murray's character Tripper's protege. When Makepeace auditioned for the role, he was about 14 years old, but looked young enough to pass for 12. Ivan Reitman recalled in an interview that during the audition, Makepeace was really stiff reading from the script, so Reitman finally just had him put the script down and had Makepeace answer lines as himself. When he did that, it worked, and Reitman cast Makepeace as Rudy. Chris Makepeace has recalled that he had heard someone from Saturday Night Live was visiting the set, and Bill Murray showed up. After meeting Bill Murray, they started shooting the first scene between Tripper and Rudy, and right at that moment was when Makepeace realized that Murray was playing the lead as the character Tripper. Number 5. Actor Eddie Deezen was originally offered the role of camp counselor and nerd character, Spaz. Deezen was very well known at the time for playing nerds, but he ended up having to turn down the part because he was already cast in the 1979 Steven Spielberg comedy film, 1941. The producers of Meatballs auditioned many actors for the role of Spaz, but they just couldn't find the right person. One day during auditions, Ivan Reitman looked at one of the film's casting directors, Jack Blum, and asked him if he wanted to audition for the part. Blum was a trained actor having attended the National Theatre School of Canada. Blum auditioned for the role, and Reitman liked him for the part so much that he declared him as Spaz on the spot. Number 4. After the film had wrapped shooting, Ivan Reitman started screening a rough cut of the film for studios in Hollywood to try and sell it, because Animal House had just been released and was a big hit. When the film was turned down by a studio after a screening though, Reitman realized the movie wasn't complete and was missing something. The film was then edited down, and then Reitman called Harold Ramis and the other writers, telling them that they needed more scenes between Tripper and Rudy. Reitman realized that the older-younger brother relationship that those characters had was the heart of the film. So in Montreal during the winter of 1978, they built a makeshift cabin and turned a little coffee shop into a small bus terminal. They shot these extra scenes over a weekend for $20,000, including an important scene where Rudy is trying to run away from camp by catching a bus, until Tripper shows up and convinces him to come back to camp. Number 3. Ivan Reitman has said that the big speech in the third act was a pivotal turning point in the movie. In this speech, Bill Murray's character Tripper is motivating Camp North Star, who is losing the yearly Olympiad to their rival, the wealthy Camp Mohawk. Reitman said he borrowed the idea and was influenced by the Germans bombing Pearl Harbor speech given by John Belushi in Animal House. To develop the speech, Reitman met with Bill Murray, who just started improvising ideas for it. At one point during this meeting, Murray just threw out the line, "It just doesn't matter," and Reitman liked the line so much that he told Murray to repeat it during the speech. Actor Russ Banham recalled that the producers gathered the cast in a big lodge and told them that Bill Murray was going to do something, and then Murray delivered the epic motivational speech and blew everyone away. Number 2. Director Ivan Reitman had said he didn't know exactly how they came up with the title Meatballs. Early on, they were going by the simple working title of just Summer Camp, but eventually it was changed to Meatballs and just sort of stuck. At one point in the movie, Spaz is called a meatball by portly counselor Larry while they are playing tennis badly, so that line may possibly be the origin of the title. Actor Jim McClarty, who played Camp Mohawk star Runner Horse, who races against Rudy at the end, told a humorous story about the title change. McClarty had told his family that he was going to be in a movie called Summer Camp, not realizing that the title had been changed to Meatballs. His brother and sister went to go see the film at a drive-in, but unfortunately they saw a different movie called Summer Camp, which was a low-grade sex comedy also released in 1979, which was shot first but only got distribution by riding the coattails of Meatballs' success at the box office. Number 1. The film was a surprise hit at the box office, eventually making a total of $70 million on a budget of only $1.6 million. The movie received mostly positive reviews from critics, with Bill Murray being praised for his performance in his first starring role. The movie was such a success that it spawned off 3 sequels after its initial release. The sequels never captured the same fun and magic, and it didn't help that most of them had no story connection to the original, along with Bill Murray never returning to star in them. Only Meatballs 3 has any continuity storyline connection to the original film, with actor Patrick Dempsey playing an older version of character Rudy Gerner. The original Meatballs film has gone on to become a very influential summer camp comedy classic that people still enjoy to this very day. Well, that was the 1979 movie, Meatballs, 10 Things You May Not Know. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, go ahead and subscribe to the Dave Likes Movies channel right here. If you have any suggestions for other movies I should cover, just leave me a comment down below.